Happy One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scot Mendenhall. I love that intro. I hope it just didn't blow you out of your head or your mind if you have earbuds in. I'm sorry for the abrupt silence to just excitement. This is a YouTube channel where we talk about things that hopefully make you excited about life. We talk about one wheels a lot because we love that float state of mind where you can get out there, escape from all the craziness in the world. I hope lately you've been getting out there riding like a mad person, woman, human being. Today we're going to discuss not only this, but it's going to be one of the centered around of the topic is going to be, is the One Wheel Factory team a good idea? The racing team, if you didn't know, they just announced recently a racing team that is going to be a factory racing team isolated to only One Wheels. One Wheel brand, One Wheel products, all One Wheel, no third-party software or products. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got some dates of some upcoming races in the new year that you need to save the date. I don't think you can register yet, but you need to be mindful of those. Never alone. She's awfully quiet today, but she's cold. Lily, formerly Wiener Arnold.
I'm here. I haven't been saying anything ahead of time because you like to introduce your people.
Oh, so you wanted a better introduction.
I gathered. No, that's great. But I'm not saying anything yet because I'm waiting for you to introduce.
Yeah, you're looking
here.
You're looking pretty crowded on your desk. I think you got to disperse your hardware. All your trophies.
Why?
Well, it feels lopsided when I see you. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll let those at home.
Like put one over here?
Yeah, maybe. But then all of a sudden you have an iPad right smack dab in the middle. That's why I like mine off to. It's just like, see, now everyone gets to see the logo, the shirt you're wearing, Dirt Surfers.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, see, I'm just here to help you. On
We're
screen.
winning.
We could have done it off screen, but why would we do that?
We're winning.
That's a pretty sweet racing jersey. Dirt Surfers.
Thank you.
I mean, we probably should get right to it. It's one of the people that we absolutely adore around here. Those that run it, that'd be Nick and Rachel Payne. They run Dirt Surfers, and they're everywhere in the Onewheel community. We even got their banner hanging up in I think we got a wide shot. We can show you that. I mean, it's we love it. And so there you go. Dirt Surfers Center right there. There's a couple of those brands we like.
Yeah, that looks good.
Along with Function, who has now been absorbed by One Wheel, which we never even talked about that, Lil. That happened in the summer, and we never talked about where Function wrist guards is now One Wheel.
Yeah.
It's like absorbed. It's in there.
You can buy them on onewheel.com.
Yeah.
Is that the only place now that you can buy them? Do you know
That's
that?
a fair thing. Maybe you look up function.com and see if it takes you right to One Wheel. We're going to do some live research for you. In my opinion, and I know there's a lot of wrist guards out there, but they do not function like Function wrist guards. These are what we have for a while now been wearing. Most of the pros wear them. I've not taken like an inventory of like what they all wear, but for the most, I can tell that's about what they wear. They not only have the wrist protection and the hand protection, you can get the option where another plastic part can protect the top of your wrist. The Velcro that wraps around your wrist is supposed to be nice and tight because it's part of the mechanism of making your wrist safe and protection. So what do we know about Function.com?
Oh, yeah. You can buy them in many places still. FunctionGear.com, which is their main website. Float Life sells them. Flux Movement sells them. Craft and Ride. AI Rides, New York City. One Wheel Parts. Onewheel.com, which onewheel.com doesn't come up right away. So they're probably going to get that fixed.
And maybe we don't know all of the details on that and how it's going to work and things of that nature. But Function is on One Wheel's website. You can check out the wrist guards there or go to function.com. But it's Function, like, again, let's go to the banner so you're clearly understanding if you can at home. Function is with an X, like the mathematical equation, okay? So it's a nice play on function, wrist guards, clever, very clever. Might as well get it out of the way. Dirt Surfers announced, at least I saw it today on their Instagram story, and we screenshotted it. They're giving you save the date for the 2024 Dirt Surfers Enduro, May 17th through the 19th.
Exciting.
Save the day. This is a premier race. This is one of the best races we've been to. There's so much space where they hold the event that it's a great place to camp. It's a great place to just as a family come and get the whole weekend vibe into it. So many trails on the actual mountain that if you came in Monday through, I don't know, say Thursday, you're going to be able to ride some of the most premier trails in the United States. So it's worth making it a family vacation. Mm-hmm. Lily has a little hardware from there.
Oh, yeah.
She podium.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Yep, second place. Well done, Lily. She got second place, which I don't have a second place trophy at any of the events we go to. I don't know if I'm going to change that in 2024 or not. To be determined still. But save the date. Scott Mendenhall and friends will be at that event. We'll begin to dream up what that looks like with Nick and Rachel and how we come in and help with that and make it a leveling up weekend for sure. We're pretty stoked to be able to offer assistance again and make it an event that is best of the best, really. And so pretty stoked about it. Save the date. You've all been told. We're stoked on it. You should be stoked on it. Anything else I'm forgetting about dirt surfers really quick before we get into today's topic? Is the Onewheel Factory team a good idea? We're going to get to that.
I think that you should come. You should be there. It's a fun time.
That's where you got...
Even if you're not racing, you should come.
Lily, did you lose a hand or something?
Oh, it's here. This is just big on me.
And you're cold.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Can't wait to not be cold in the studio.
Oh, okay. Since she mentioned, well, that's a good segue. Before we get into the other details, we got some housekeeping stuff. Seriously, if you're brand new around here, we always drop content on Onewheel. We've been lackadaisical on the posting on our YouTube channel because of what's happening in life. We're building a new studio. And when I say we, Lily and I are building. There's a shot moments ago snapped. We have the floor in, heating floor.
Beautiful.
We have to do trim still. And some of those odds and ends, and then all of a sudden this gear is going to get smashed into there. So
it's going to look a little different.
It's going to look a little teeny-weeny different. So we're hoping by next week. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but it looks good. It's starting to feel great. It's awesome to have power out there, all those good things. So all of those have been patiently waiting with us on the building of the new studio. Thank you so much for having patience. We have so much footage to edit down from the whole summer, recently building trails, all those things. So give a subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will not be disappointed. Every Wednesday we do a podcast. We get a lot of the pros in here and talk about upcoming races and what are they riding, how they ride, and all those different things. It's their off season at the moment, so we're giving a lot of them some space. We're going to get them in here soon to talk about. There's been a lot happening in the off season of the Onewheel Racing League. A lot's transpired, like any sport. A lot's transpired, I would say. I mean, Every time we turn around, something new's happening. Since the last Race for the Rail event, we have gotten custom shaping brought out. That came with the haptic buzz. We've talked about it. Like, get on board. It's just part of the board now, folks. Like, you can grumble and complain all you want, but it's not changing. Because that's the way the government and Onewheel agreed upon so we could continue to ride our board. So I would suggest, if I could be so abrupt, stop complaining, ride more. Less complaint, more boards, right?
Less complaining in general would be great from like all human beings.
All human beings.
Including myself.
Like seriously, like anything that you think you have an opinion on, just ride your board. Every time you think about sharing your opinion that's going to be like polarizing on a topic, go ride your board.
I like it.
We might all be riding our boards. This should be like, maybe Onewheel should like brand this in some way, like they're going to be way better than us, but less complaining, more riding.
There you go.
Just would be more riding. It just puts you in a better state of mind. And so we on this YouTube channel, we try to stay pretty positive but truthful. I think some people think because we're so positive and kind, that makes us not honest in our opinions and thoughts. Nope, we just like to deliver our thoughts in a way that is received without picking a fight. Like this is a real story. Lily knows this is a hot topic around here. In the last 24 hours, you don't even know where I'm going, do you?
No.
You'll know. In the last 24 hours, I got yelled at while I was on my Onewheel. I have spent this last racing season in cross country tracking down my boys while they're running 3.2 miles, and I'd get to point A to point B, cheer them on, zip to this side. It was so much fun. I got to ride on premier golf courses because they're shut down here in Minnesota for the races, and I'm zipping all over the place. It's so much fun. Cheering them on, run faster, better form. Well, last night, somebody laid into me a little bit on riding my Onewheel, and they thought I was pacing, and I wasn't, so I get where they're coming from, but the moment that we share, I quickly apologized because I wasn't looking to pick a fight. But it was like they so abruptly got on me. It was like, hold on. If they would have come in a little bit softer and be like, hey, what you doing out there? Hey, we would love it if you didn't do this and this and if you rode like that. You come in that way, you don't pick a fight. But you come in blasting. First thing was, get off that thing right now. Well, how many know that just like burrs you up a little bit? So I had to do a little bit of work to simmer down. And so, because I always want to be kind, and so I wasn't trying to pick a fight. I quickly apologized to the gentleman and got off my board. Because I wasn't trying to do anything illegal, which I wasn't. But they thought I was. I was like, I got no watches on. I got nothing. I'm not keeping track. I'm just an avid fan of my boys. So when we talk about people sharing opinion, you can share it in a way, or a thought, in a way that doesn't seem like you want to fight, in a way of like asking some questions. And that's what we try to do around here. Yeah. So the opinions we're about to share on is the One Wheel Factory team a good idea? The opinions we're about to share are our opinions. They're going to be real opinions, but we're going to share them in a way that hopefully comes across loving and kind, but they're still our opinions. So jump into the chat if you're live with us and discuss your thoughts. I've already seen some people in there firing away some of your thoughts. We're going to get to it. We know that this is some of your lunch breaks. We know some of you are watching this or listening to it on your way home, so thank you for doing that. If you would take a moment, like all you good listeners, and just subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be awesome. Just do it. It's like so encouraging. Like I know it's a little bit of effort. I mean, I would equate it to Lily's back squat of 550 pounds.
What?
I would equate it to that kind of effort.
A little bit of effort.
Oh, did I? Was it 600 the other day? Not 550? Did I play it down?
What are you talking about?
Your back squat. That you were like, put a car on your back. She's a CrossFit girl. No?
No.
Well, it was 700?
No.
What is it?
That's so much weight. That would be crazy.
No. I watched somebody, I mean, not recent, but did 550 and then ran like a sub 5-minute mile.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's wild.
I would die.
No, you wouldn't. You could do it. You could do it.
So could you.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I could back squat even 100 pounds.
Yes, you could.
I could. I don't think I've ever back squatted anything.
No?
No. Why would I do that to myself?
Not sure.
That seems like...
Bigger legs.
So
Bigger
what?
booty.
Oh, my. It would give me... Holly does say I have a flat butt.
Oh, my gosh.
Too much? Too what? I mean,
she probably wants you to back squat then.
Okay. She's not watching today. She's running some...
She's watching. She's in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great.
She's here.
Oh, she's here. Baby, you want me to do back squats? I mean, if you want me to, just say it, and I'll start doing back squats. I'll throw the Polaris on my back and start squatting. I'll start with the one wheel first. That's a solid 35 pounds, 37 pounds or something.
Yeah, that's a great way to start.
Start there and then go, okay. Okay, I hear you, baby. After 22 years, I hear you. I'm feeling it. After you do that, one solid for us by subscribing. That's great. Another thing, we got our hands on, and we left the sleeve on it just because we wanted to make sure we're giving some proper love to Brooks in his Trail Passport Journal. This thing is legit. If we could get to the close-up, that'd be a great... They just get a little bit closer shot. There you go.
Yeah, that's sweet.
This thing... Now, the cool thing is right now you can go to floatlife.com because they've partnered together. This is Floatlife logo. This is Midwest One Wheel logo. And so... it's awesome. Like, when I checked it out, the layout on this thing is you got your pre-ride intentions, post-ride reflections. I was reading this going, man, you could do this, like, pre-day intentions. Like, just wake up, turn the word from ride into day, and there you go. You're starting to lead yourself throughout the day, and then your post-day, right before you go to bed, how'd it go? And you can kind of assess and evaluate your day. Did I have a positive outlook? Did I get in a fight? It'd do you a lot of good to do this. So go to, I think you can go to MidwestOnewheel.com to get it. You can go to Float Life as well. They got a small run at it, and I think we're going to do a run with Scott Mendenhall and friends. And do these as Christmas gifts.
Ooh.
All right? Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yeah.
I think we should make it happen. So, go check that out. We got our hands on it. It's like solid. It's like you feel it. It's got a little suede feel on it. It's just a proper journal feel. Like, it's not too big. It's not too little. It's Brooks, great job. I thanks for all the work you did in this. And get your hands on it. All right, now, first, before we get into the topic today, we got to wish a happy birthday to one of our favorite human beings on a one wheel. This man is a legend among one wheel athletes and pros. We have labeled him the sniper of one wheel pros. He evaluates and reevaluates lines and trails like nobody I know. He can look at a trail map and go, this is how you should ride it to get optimal speed out of it. The guy evaluates like nobody else's business. He could be an engineer for NASA if he so chose, but he graces us with his presence in the one-wheel racing circuit. He is known as Austin Silva. It's his birthday today.
Woo!
Happy birthday, Austin. I have no idea if you'll get this, Austin.
Star.
You know, but happy birthday, man. We love you. Thanks for being one of our friends. Thanks for putting on my roof with your wife.
Man.
What a superhero.
Really.
You are one of a kind. You came all the way from California to spend 3 days on my roof. Lily left the city and went out of town when we did that. She's like, I'm out.
Yep.
So,
Austin, Mercedes,
Lily,
amazing human
Lily,
beings.
cover your ears on this. Just cover your ears for this one. Austin, your stock is rising. It is definitely.
It should rise.
It's gone up above Lily's for sure with that one. No, I'm just messing. No.
It should rise. They did a lot.
They were amazing. So such great humans there. Okay, so let's get into, is the Onewheel Factory team a good idea? I see Jeff in the chat today. Jeff, thanks for what you put out there. I watched one of the videos from your boys at your shop. They helped me pull out my hub, or pull apart my hub and get the stator, I think it's called. I'd never done that before, but I did it now. Feel accomplished as a one-wheel guy. I could probably maybe get a job now as like the assistant to the assistant at a one-wheel shop. But nonetheless, got to watch a video how to do it, and it worked. I was real nervous, but tell the boys in onewheelparts.com they were clutch. So, superheroes out there. Well done. Jeff, being one of the pros, raced quite well. We have not had him on. We should follow up with Jeff on his race, that race for the rail. I know it didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. Same with me. I saw it going differently for him. But he's one of the pros. Is the Onewheel Factory team a good idea to have 5 one-wheelers as a factory team? Here are their pictures. If you missed it in the logo, here are the 5 that have been announced. It's in the opening shot there. Me interviewing Tyler over there, who won Race for the Rails this past year. If you go to the picture in the yellow, if you're listening, we'll break it down from the left. My left. I'm sure that's how you see it. Austin is the far left. Tyler is next. Then Mercedes. Then Bodie. And then Neil Bennett. Though that is a stout team. I like, those are great humans. They've all been on this podcast. That's a pleasure to be able to just say we've sat down and interviewed those amazing human beings. Interesting to only have one female. My first thought is one lady. I wonder how that happened. I'm not in any of those doors to be picking the team, but interesting you have one female. Anything as a representing the females, Lily, that you feel to that? Or are you like, hey, at least they got one?
I'm like, hey, at least they got one. I don't feel like there should have been one more, but now that you put that in my head, maybe. But I wasn't thinking that before.
Okay. As you see it now, 5. I don't know how you came up, as to one wheel. Maybe we get Jack Mudd on here and ask him some questions, like to get those details. How'd you get to 5? Did like the 6th and 7th say no? Is it knowing what they're going to need these one-wheelers to do, these pros? Mercedes is at a whole nother level for a lot of these ladies. Mercedes drops off skyscrapers. I mean, she just does. At one point, I was like, we should film. When Mercedes and Austin were on the roof, I was like, we should film you two dropping off my house off of one wheel. And they didn't even bat an eye. They're like, okay, let's go get our helmet and board.
That's crazy.
Right? Like, what? I was like,
That's really high.
I'm like, I don't think I want to be a part of that. Is how awesome it does sound. Not a chance I'm going to be a part of doing that and you guys, but they drop off everything. I loved I think it was Austin posted Who Wrote It Better. On their Instagram post the other day, they both dropped.
Almost everyone voted for Mercedes.
They did?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Legend,
because she looked better.
Legend voted it as Mercedes. I didn't even vote. I just said, Austin, you know who did. That's how I left it.
Yeah.
The question would be like, whose tail hit? One of them, their tail drug. And I thought it was Mercedes. I thought Austin's had a more clean.
Yeah, but
run.
His tail did kind of tap at the end, but he like fixed it quicker. But with a longer tail drag, it looked intentional.
Okay. All right. It just was interesting. Let's hear some of your chat or some of your comments in the chats. What are your thoughts on is the Onewheel Factory team a good idea? I think it could offer up, again, not knowing the details, I could see where all of a sudden you get to ride for teams. Like, how cool would it be, Lily, if you show up to Dirt Surfers, and you know how you write in there, who am I writing for?
Yeah.
And they announce you, right? What if you got to earn points for your overall team, and you have a team winning
kind of like
bracket,
cross country,
like cross country? Yeah, I think they do the top 20 get points.
I think that's a cool idea.
It's the reverse. There's the lowest point, but yeah, you get points.
I could see that evolving in the one wheel.
I think that'd be a lot of fun, because then all of a sudden you're rooting for a team, and inside the team you have your favorites, and they're racing still as an individual, but they're still trying to put points towards an overall team. Because then think about it, Scott Mendenhall and friends could be dropping in a team of 5,
right,
and you're competing against the overall time or overall position of those one-wheelers. I think that would be a really fun way of bringing more fans to the sport, because now it's not just about an individual. You get to race for a team.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting how you pick a team. You know, like to pick a team, like let's say, like I know, like Jeff, he has multiple partners. He's helped him along the way. You know, like his major one is One Wheel Parts. But let's say Float Life came in and said, "Would you ride for us too?" Now you got to pick. I don't know how the riders get to choose or would pick that. I could see a
One Wheel Parts.
Yeah, would it just be no? You can't have like the Float Life can't have like I couldn't sponsor you in Float Life. You'd have to choose.
Right. I don't think that's how it should.
I don't think that's how it should be.
You don't?
No, I
then
think.
How would they? What would?
I think it would have to be down to each racer to decide when. Okay, you're a bigger contributor to my. I think every race team would choose how that works. I think One Wheel, no brainer. They're going no.
Yeah.
One wheel only. Makes sense. But I don't know if other brands are big enough to be able to do that to support a team.
Right.
Like, you know, us as Scott...
It's a cool idea, though.
Us as Scott Mendenhall and friends wouldn't. But I think it's starting to set us in a direction that could be pretty fun as a league. Now, are there rough edges to it that I haven't thought of? Sure. I'm sure some of you are writing in the chat right now.
Yeah, someone says it would get stacked pretty quickly, which I agree with.
What would get stacked? The teams?
Yeah. Like... if we're racing up against, well, yeah, I don't know.
You could see it get stacked, but I think this is where I think you would create a revenue for pros or the teams. Like, you're going to have to pony up something to get a racer to come to your team. I don't think it's just, hey, we're good friends, you want to race for my team. I think it starts that way, but if you begin to have a skill level that is advantageous for other teams to win, I think money starts to be talked about. I don't think large amounts of money, but I think you're going to get an income from a team going, hey, would you race for me, and I'll pay for all your entry fees and your travel to the. See what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden these teams are offering up more money for the athletes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's what I'm trying. And then that's who you would choose.
That would probably be in the competitive part of the league. Like, I wouldn't be racing in that part of the league.
Why? It's coming on friends. You'd be racing.
Because there's no incentive for someone to pay for me, because I'm not going to be like in
you
the
just
pro
took
level.
number one.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be like in the pro level.
That's
I feel
the
like
next
the
stop.
Pro would be those that would be on these teams. Or like it's just for fun on the other teams.
Yeah, but no, not everybody.
Or the other divisions.
I mean, you think about every sport. There's 32 football teams, only one winner. There's, 140-some cyclists in the Tour de France, only one winner. But there's a team in that sport, in the cycling thing, that helps your overall team win with time.
Jeff says he thinks it would grow the sport.
Yeah, I think so. I just see it. I think it would grow the sport. I think it would push the athlete. I think if, like, let's take Jeff. In One Wheel Parts, they put together a team. Well, now Jeff's going to come and start to train his team. You're going to, like, let's say he offers you to be on his team. Okay? Mm-hmm. He offers you to be on the team. It's an invite, but Lily, we're going to meet 3 times a year and I'm going to train you.
Oh my gosh.
But now he's training you because it's advantageous.
That makes sense. That would make sense.
Because you want to be competitive. You're trying to earn the money. Mm-hmm. So I like that idea. I think that, again, I don't know if One Wheel even thought about that. Sometimes I hope One Wheel listens to this and goes, that's a good idea. Because that would be so, it's a marketing thing. Oh, man, could you imagine? Just imagine, because this is just true in any racing or team sport. You need rivalries. And if you're not creating rivalries, it's hard as a spectator to you like the friction that teams can create.
Yeah.
Like
and it probably would be easier to follow.
Right. How do we stack up against one-wheel parts? Or how does the one-wheel team stack up against the float life? I just think
It'd be fun.
I just think it would be so much fun to watch. Because the Vikings just played the Bears, and when they play the Packers, what happens? I tune in a lot closer to those games because those are our rivalries, and it makes me pay attention to the game closer because it's like, no, if anything, if we have a sucky season, I still want to beat that team. So I like the idea. I thought it was clever. We don't have the video to play. We didn't rip it, but I did think it was clever the way they announced the team. Did you see that video, Lil?
Yeah, it was
What
cute.
was one of the things that you said it was cute?
It was.
I wonder if Kevin and the crew that made that or were aiming for it was cute.
It was adorable.
Adorable.
It was.
Wow.
It was funny.
I don't think I've ever created something I wanted somebody to go, oh, that was,
It was
just adorable. Clever.
And cute.
Clever. I think it was, I wouldn't use, clever was, I did like clever. I thought it was creative in the way they did it. They told a story and they delivered the news. What else stood out to the way they did it? Can you remember? There's one thing that I was like, I see what you did there.
No, I don't know what you're
Oh,
talking
man.
about.
And I should have clipped it and we should have played it, but we didn't. Because when they start announcing, hey, we're putting together a team, and you see Austin in the woods and Mercedes and Neil and Tyler, and then all of a sudden you see the, almost said orange, but the pink board come into the.
Yeah, for Bodie.
Yeah, and they left it long enough, pause to go, no. No, really?
And it was true.
And Bodie is team Onewheel all of a sudden? Oh, man. That sent me through the roof. That was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're going to do something like this, you can't not ask Bodie. Like, you can't not have Bodie. So it's a huge win to get him, I think.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation. And I don't, my understanding in it, there's no drama in it. Like, I think people are always looking for drama. Oh, this person's against that or this. I don't think that's the way it went down. I think it was a very healthy transition and all those things. You saw the video from Bodie probably. If you hadn't, he posted a really kind video of his dream was to always be a rider, a professional rider. I mean, just think about that.
That's really cool.
You get paid to ride your board all of a sudden? How's that not... Wait, hold on. I just get to ride my board and test out new, amazing, cutting-edge things? Yes, please sign me up, right? Like, come on. So his video is super cool. He was super kind towards Jeff in the float life. He's going to be on the podcast here shortly to talk about some of those things because there's no drama to be dug up. It's just a way it is, you know, an opportunity to come ride your board and get paid to do it. I mean, seriously. Who of us wouldn't take that one? And so it'll be interesting to see what Bodie comes in and what he gets to or where he takes the sport. Because he's in it at the top. And I think, again, every one of those athletes that we see on the cover that we showed earlier, every one of them has this unique skill level that's different from each one of them. Tyler being a surfer, so you're going to get that very carvy but fast speed vibe. You're going to get Neil Bennett, who it comes from the biking world. Is going to come in and offer that. You're going to have Mercedes and Austin, who, I mean, they literally spent the last year and a half of their life riding all these trails across the United States. In my understanding, they're one of the most complete athlete in the sport of riding so many different terrains from the north to south, the west, east, and central. They've just got a lot of information to help bring us as riders the best product moving forward. So I think it's pretty cool. I think now the creators, Lily, of software or a new product that can go, here go riders, go take it out and take it for a spin. To
the factory team?
Yeah. Now you have a way to test everything.
Yeah, I think that's genius on their part.
I mean,
from like legitimate, like people who are gonna be using it to race. and people who have influence already in the racing world. So I think it's genius.
Yeah, I think it's really, and I think when we were talking about complainers earlier, Lil, I think those of us that are complaining about something, we honestly forget we were complaining about something. When the GT dropped a couple years ago, they're like, oh, who got to test these boards before they hit the open market? We're the test case. Mm-hmm. Well, you complained. And here is Onewheel going, okay, we hear you. We're going to put together a factory racing team that's going to help us sort out these products to break them in and really test them and help us develop a product that you as a rider or you as a racer will like. I think it's tremendous. I think we're going to see through, again, my speculations. Great thing about my speculations, they're on YouTube so that we can pull them back and say you were way off or way right. Uh-huh. I think you're going to see a pro board coming out at some point. Or cool. They're going to write a board that's going to show you the capabilities of a board. I hope that it's available to us as riders that we could purchase it for more money or something. But I would think that's what we're going to see.
Well, if they make a pro board that's like pretty exclusive for the pros, don't you think it would be less exclusive if they made it available for more money?
Well, I don't know how they would make it available, but I think that, I'm just going off of what you see other sports do. So for a while, I competitively raced Ironman. In the equipment I raced, until I got to the pro status where I was sponsored and things of that nature, until that moment, I was riding last year's stuff. But as soon as I had the in with a bike shop and all these different things, now I'm riding this year's stuff.
Right.
I got to be in that group that's breaking in and testing those things, and then it's given the next year.
Okay, so you're not saying we would get it when they get it. If this was something that they dropped, it would be like later on.
Right. It would be they'll race this season on a board, and then it'll be available.
Right. That makes sense.
Because why would they make? I mean. Again, I don't know how Onewheel's swinging this. This is a great thing about this podcast is I genuinely didn't dig into this one because I wanted to share raw opinions of these are just my thoughts. I don't know anything where they're taking this. It's just my hopes and excitement in it as a fan. That why would they develop a board, give it to the racers, and in the same season give it to the other people they're going to race to make, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then somebody's going to say that's not fair. But, hey, we have a lot of things that aren't fair at the moment in our racing league, and we're trying to sort those things out. So I could see that happening. I could also see where it is available. I could see in a deal like, oh, no, these pros get it first. It's tested. Here you go.
Well, I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool to see. I hope that these other shops, the onewheelparts.com and the Float Life, they go and create a shop team, but really with the same strategy of Onewheel. Mm-hmm. And we can see these shops competitively compete. Boy, it'd be so cool. It would be really cool to come in and say what team's going to win and then what individual.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Yeah, so what are they saying in the chat, Lil? You're trying to keep, I can see it moving today a little bit, but I can't read it as much.
Sean Paul's giving a lot of good comments here. Like, he agrees on the who tested this comment. That was his first thought, answering the legitimate concerns and complaints on the testers. Shane says, pro is more than being good on the board, being good at riding, street credibility, I don't know which word that is. And having a face for marketing would be a requirement too, which I think all those people have. So.
Yeah, and I think that's
lots of good conversation.
I think that's where each racing team gets to choose that.
Someone said Revolver coming soon. What is that?
That's Jeff.
Yeah, what is that?
I got to assume.
Is it a battery? Or
I don't know. Maybe Jeff will talk. We haven't had Jeff in a while.
I don't know what Revolver is.
Well,
sounds like a gun.
It is a gun, but I don't know if it's probably something at onewheelparts.com that they're going to be releasing potentially. But I think, I think when Onewheel went to go pick their team, I think we've now clearly, because again, another thing a lot of people in the community had been complaining about, just making points of, that, listen, the issue is, what's a Onewheel Pro? Remember that was at the beginning of the race season last year. A lot of people in the chat going, define a Onewheel Pro. It got defined. There are 5 Onewheel Pros right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they are at they're top tier of that, on the board and off the board, that they represent the sport well. Off the board, I think, and this is just truth as a dad. Those 5 that are being announced I would be okay if my children went and rode with them and I wasn't with them.
Or even looked up to them, because they're putting Onewheel's putting these 5, is it 5?
Yep.
On the map of this is who we say should have influence. We are automatically giving our stamp of approval to these 5 riders for who they are, how they ride, what they represent. And so that speaks volumes to young people that are flooding the Onewheel community. So I think that all of that probably was taken into consideration.
Yeah, I think we should start taking the Fab 5 from college basketball and putting it on the Fab 5 at the moment. Midwest Onewheeler says, or is asking the question, how do we know, as a race director, how are we going to know what the board's running?
Yeah, because they're talking about the stator.
Yeah, I think that's what the revolver is.
Yeah, but what is that?
That's the thing I pulled out of my hub the other day on one of my boards. That's the stator. It's the motor. It's where the magnets are.
What will it do? Make it faster?
Well, I think always trying to have an advantage is. I think this is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just basing it off of my racing experience in triathlon, and then you watch any motorsport. I like the X Games. I like motocross, and your bikes have to reach or be at a certain standard or level to be in there. You can't have some wacky thing coming in that no one knows anything about. It's still, the motors are the same size or those different things. You can't just have this, I built this in my garage and it's a test case deal. It has to fit inside the set limitations of, I would think, of the racing league. I that's my real genuine opinion. I think what's unique to Onewheel racing from the other sports, and I don't know all the sports' history, right? Like motocross, I don't know who started that. I don't know snowmobile racing. I don't know who started those things, right? But what you have in Onewheel Racing League is the company that started it is running the league. So they're going to lean very hard towards Onewheel is future in motion. Whereas if it was a third party doing this or somebody not in any brand, just the heart of racing, I think all of a sudden they're going to have wiggle room on what they create as the standards. But I do think some standards have to be laid out. Windman, my goodness, I don't know if Brooks enjoyed all of the different categories.
He literally just said in the chat, though, that he likes that the factory team is riding no footholds. So I'm sure those were a lot of categories. I'd be interested to pick his brain on that, but
yeah, it's a ton of categories. I mean, to do those categories, again, I'm not into this. I can say this because I've never asked Brooks, okay? So this is a genuine question in my opinion to it. But he had to have spent more money to have more of those categories because they had grab bags for so many different brackets. Foothold, non-foothold, future motion software, non-future motion software, but you had trophies for all of those. That just isn't, I don't think, advantageous long-term to be able to make the racing successful. That's my thought. Because then, and as a spectator, I think that's another thing in our racing league that it is hard to do is spectate. Because everybody just goes off into the woods. I think and Brooks was on the fence on this, I do think Brooks is onto something with Windman having a leaderboard moving. It allows the spectators to be able to track what's happening out there because you can't see anybody. The energy for sure at Windman is around the fire pits and you're talking about the ride and what happened or didn't happen. Love that. But as a spectator, you don't get to see any, you just see people ride off into the woods and then come out either with more mud on them, or smiling or frowning. But the leaderboard allows that to be tracked. Like, man, could you imagine if we had that on a big, big screen and you could just see it all day? It invites more people to come around and watch the race throughout the day. But for a spectator, it's hard to know, well, what are they racing? I have no idea. It looks like a one wheel. I think a one way. I don't have my bib number in here. I do somewhere, actually. But I do think, like when I do Ironman, more marathons tend to do this. I thought I had my bib number in here. Marathons do this. You can sign up for different race distances. And so you could do the 10K. Why would you do that? You could do half marathon. Why would you do that? But you could do the full. And your bib number indicates what you're racing. So this is my bib number from last year. Brooks and team, great job on the bib numbers this year. They look awesome. Mine's somewhere because I was going to bring it in here. But this would indicate a little bit if you could. But again, it costs more money because you're going to have to print the same numbers in different colors to indicate, if your number is pink, you're in vest category. If it's black, you're in future motions. Those things would help as a spectator to know what people are riding.
That's true.
And same with the big races, like Dirt Surfers does the massive enduro race on Sunday. Well, now it's free. It's the Wild Wild West. You have no idea what people are riding and who as I pass by. And like it does help me when I'm in a marathon and I just got whizzed by some older individual that they look older and like, holy crap, I suck as an individual. They just whizzed by me like I am walking. When you recognize, their bib number, they're running a 10K, so they're doing 6 miles, and I'm doing 26 miles. It makes you feel much better that you understand who you're up against.
Yeah.
So I think those things would help.
I agree. There's probably a lot of little changes that you can make based on divisions that would help a lot of things more, like even in addition to spectating.
I like what Dirt Surfers come in. We're getting a good conversation going into the chat a little bit. It's hard to read with my glasses on, but Dirt Surfers says, the standards of our community held races will not be the same as one-wheel standards for a race for the rail. So you catch what they're saying from Dirt Surfers is like each race is going to be able to kind of figure out. When I'm reading into that, they're going to be able to they're going to be able to set the standards to their races. But if I'm reading between some of those words, that race for the rail, if you want to compete in that, these are the set standards.
Yeah, and he even just said also that they'll have special requirements, but we will not make people race stock GTs at Dirt Surfers. So the special requirements I'm curious about. I wonder what those are. That's
the beauty of where we're at. It's off season, so all these things are being developed.
Yeah,
I would love to throw my hat in the ring to help do that because I love the sport and I want it to progress and it's exciting to watch and I want it to be great for the racers, spectators, and everybody in between. And I want like Dirt Surfers and Windmen. I want them to enjoy what they're doing and man, I want them to make money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't want Dirt Surfers and Windmen to just break even. I want it to, because there's those creators of those races are putting in more time than to break even. Like the amount of time they're dreaming up the things, man. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, we're almost there with this. He said, is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Dirt Surfers. Yeah, I think so. I think it's fun. Again. I didn't go to any of this year. I didn't go to any of the events that were tied to a show, concerts, a festival, right?
Yeah.
Dirt Surfers and Windmen are your racers' race. Now, I know anyone that's listening that's putting on any of the Float Fest and
Seek and Tread
and all those things, they're like, wait, we are. And I'm not saying that, but you show up to dirt surface in Windman and you're riding heaps of miles on your one wheel. Like, that's what's so fun is that you show up, you pay to get there to race, and you're riding your one wheel a ton. 6 stages in Windman this past time.
That was a lot.
2 of them were over, I think, one was close to 2 miles and one was 1.5 or 2.5, sorry. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
That's fun to get to a race that you pay for to ride your one wheel a ton. And so I think what has happened with the Racing Factory team is I think it's awesome. I can see dirt surfers coming in and doing their own team.
I could see that.
Right? That's where I don't know if it's advantageous, right, but that's what I'm saying. Dirt surfers has their own team. How fun would that be? To see a dirt surfers team and dirt surfers coming in and saying, hey, we're going to put together a team this year. And we're going to go up against, I just think it'd be really fun. I love where the sport's at. I do think, because a lot of us are saying, man, it's about the person on the board. A pro is not just the board they ride. I do think it's hard if we don't have like similar boards everybody's riding. It's hard to say that's a clear win or loss. Does that make sense, Lil?
Say it again.
If we don't have these pros on, or if they're not all on the same board, it's going to be hard to decide if that's a clear win or loss. If somebody gets beat, let's say, like we'll take Windman 2 weekends ago. Overall fastest time is with a Vesk.
Right.
Okay. Second place by only seconds is Future Motion. But if they both were riding Vesks, would it be the same? I'm not trying to take anything from Nico. Nico is...
If both Nico and Mercedes were riding Vesks?
No, she did women. Because second place was Austin in the men's overall time.
You're saying...
But they both were riding different boards.
Yeah.
But if they both ran the same boards, then you have... Like, now you're comparing using the same apples to apples then.
Well, I think that's part of what Brooks and the team was trying to create was being able to compare in divisions. Now, when it came to overall rider, the fact that Nico is on a Vesk is like, it still leaves that feeling that people had before when the divisions were combined of like, well, did he have that much of an advantage because he was on a Vesk? What would it have been like? Obviously, Austin would have won that overall time because he was the next racer in line. And so... I mean,
yeah, I get what.
Yeah.
I'm with Brooks, and again, if I'm throwing my ring in the hat to a side of something, Brooks's comment in Dirt Surfers says I second what Brooks said. I'm thirding it. I think we need more enduro races. I think
they're so fun.
There
haven't been any others, but
there's a reason.
How we don't know the difference.
But in enduro races, the reason why enduro races make sense to me, because that's not just, we're borrowing the idea from mountain bikes in dirt bikes. They do those in those style races. Mm-hmm. You can show up to a dirt bike enduro and you're going to get the very close vibe and feel of a one-wheel enduro race because we're borrowing the idea from them. It's a fun way to test riders' ability because in an enduro style, it's easy. It's easy to understand as a racer. All levels are welcomed, and unless something goes haywire, you're not really obstructing the pros. And I really like how dirt surfers and Windman in their own ways figure out how to separate the pros from the Joes.
Yeah.
Right? How many times did you see out in those trails, pro line? And then you pass and you're like, I'm so glad I didn't just drop off that building.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you go to dirt surfers, and dirt surfers has, nope, this is pros only trail. And you go and look at that thing, you're like, can one wheels even get up and over that thing?
And they can.
And they can, because it's about the rider on there. So it's fun to have Brooks, and I'm assuming dirt surfers is Nick, not Rachel. But it's good to have those two in there because they've got two of my favorite races. that I really love. And same with Scott Mendenhall and friends. We love those two races, and we're here with them to help make what they've dreamed up executed to the level they saw in their dreams. And so I think 2024 is going to be a fun year, and I hope what we're seeing with the Onewheel Factory Racing team, I don't think they're calling it that, though. I'm calling it the racing team. You know, I'm trying to put something in there that might not be in.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're coming to race as a team, but it sure would be sweet.
It would be, especially if they traveled together
Like,
to all the races.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Like, if
That'd
I'm
be
putting
cool.
together a
That'd
team.
be legit.
Like, I'll be honest, when we kind of own the Grom categories at Scott Mendenhall and Friends a lot, right? When you see them go to the podium and they're wearing Scott Mendenhall and Friends, you're going, oh, yeah, that's good. That's fun to see. Like, come on, Onewheel's got to be sitting there going, oh, man, we want all three podium.
Yeah.
Now, you can only get one with Mercedes, but we want her podium first. Like, why would you not want that? That only speaks well of them as a rider, but also what they're riding.
Right.
So
It'll be fun to see.
I think it's a great idea. I think this is outside of the racing side. I think this is going to get us as riders and casual riders. We're going to get upgrades in our products that we either have been clamoring for or didn't know we wanted. Mm-hmm. I think now they have a way to try out things and create content and be ambassadors of the sport. So I'm pretty stoked on it. And when I saw it, I thought they were going to do a game on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, but they had silhouetted out the faces of the actual image, and it was fun to go, who do you think that was? I think Tyler was a dead giveaway because of his hair.
Yeah, he would be.
So, any other thoughts, Lil, as we...
No, I'm excited. Sean wrote in the chat that the main point for the team is to have a high skill level rider as part of their QA, QC, and development team, not for racing, though that would be cool as well. And that, I mean, look, Neil just put in, it's not a race team specifically, but we are motivated. Like, I like that it can go many directions, and they're bought in for it, and they're starting to get the fans bought in as well.
Yeah, come on, though. I like that. They got to play it down like that, but I'm going to push. I'm pushing for a racing league. I want it. I want it as a spectator. I want a little feistiness. I like that, we racers, we be racers. You're first and foremost racers.
Right. They were racers going in. Like, you were racers first.
Can't turn that off.
There's a lot to say there. You're not going to turn it off.
No.
You're going to keep racing.
Let's go, baby.
So.
Let's go. Like, let's get the merch rolling. Let's get the Fab Five Onewheel team going. Let's have jerseys. Let's get it going, and let's get a Dirt Surfers team. And I just think it'd be so much fun. Like, you're picking what team. If it wasn't a thought, let's make it a thought. Let's make it happen. Because I think as spectators, it would be so much fun. I mean, why do people tune in to like F1 and all those things to see their team, Red Bull team, right? Like, it's like you want to root them on, but you also want to vilify them. I think there would be people that would go against Onewheel just because they are Onewheel.
Oh yeah,
and
you did it all.
I think that's what would make the sport like. I think people would be going to see, okay, are they at Dirt Surfers? All five of them going to Dirt Surfers. Okay, I want to come up there and watch them. It's going to elevate it. I've seen it through my kids' eyes already, that those five that are on the Onewheel Factory team / race team, they asked me, oh, do you think they're going to have two things my kids asked? Jerseys that we can buy. If so, I would like, and they all picked one for Christmas. Black Friday sale. Come on, Onewheel. 2, playing cards.
Oh,
they wanted
cute.
Like baseball cards of them in their favorite. And I was just, what would you want on the card? I want to know their favorite settings on their Onewheel.
Top speed.
Their
Cool.
Top speed at rating, their favorite race, and then like a silly thing on the back of like a paragraph where they're from and how long they've been racing, and then a fun trivia thing like favorite food or whatever it is. But that's them. think about if you start getting that to the kids, you are building the sport and building a place for people to purchase more of them, because I know at the end of the day, it still bottom lines need to be met. Boards need to be sold. I'm not oblivious to that. Racers need to show up to these events. Like I said before, dirt surfers and windmen especially, they're no break even there. I want those things to be lucrative. How awesome would it be? I would think it would be successful, Lily.
Yeah.
That the creators of these events, they make enough money if they so chose to quit their other job. They could. I just think that ultimately would make their events amazing, because they would be 100% to that, not off on the side. And I'm speaking on my own. I'm not talking to these guys. They're like, Scott, stop. That's not our intentions. But I, as a fan of yours,
you're just sharing your opinion.
Yeah, a fan of me, it's like, no, I want that. I love watching people dream it, build it, live it. Those three things. You got to dream it, you got to build it, and then you go live it. And to see those races being created as something you dreamt, I like being able to come in and go, hey, I can partner with, we can help you accomplish what you're trying to say. We have a skill set because of what we do to help make your dreams a reality. It's so much fun that way. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Come on. How do we, bummer about Scott Mendenhall and Friends team. Here, this is just a fun, just giggle. 3 of those individuals on the factory team are on our racing jerseys.
Yeah.
Come on, that's something to be said. That's pretty fun.
You just like that.
I just like that. I just thought of it. I was like, might never be able to do that again.
You mean if the factory racers change?
No, but if they can't, I don't know if their agreements
rules
are right.
Change.
Right. Like, can they do that?
They already exist on there.
They're there. It's like bam. So it's awesome. I'm stoked. I'm stoked on it. We have to make catchy titles these days for people to click on, and at some point one day we're gonna go, is this a good idea? And we're gonna come in and go, no. But it is. It is. I think the skill sets that those individuals bring is going to make this sport and the one wheel better. And I know it's not about the sport. I think it's going to give us a better overall one wheel, and that's exciting. And I know Lily and I enjoy riding them as well as you guys. And I think now that the CPSC stuff's over, I think you're going to watch a lot of progression happen. And I think if that's just indication of what's happened already in this environment in the community since CPSC stuff's come to what seems like a closed door. We've got custom shaping. I know, came with haptic buzz, but for your safety, insanity, or insanity. And then the factory team. I just think you're going to see, we're set up for something really cool. Right, Lil? Tired over there again?
I'm a little tired.
She's yawning.
No, I wasn't.
This conversation's boring
you will
her.
never know if that's true. No, it's not. I've been so engaged in this conversation. So engaged. And the chat's been fun to read today. Thanks for participating.
Yeah, super kind today. Like, I love hearing... I like that. Dirt Surfers is saying One Wheel has also sponsored other riders by giving them the Pro Card. This is true. That the Pro Card, it used to be a little bit of, is it exist? And then we saw them post it on right at Race for the Rail. A handful of riders got this black Pro Card, which allows them to purchase things with a discount and things of that nature, which is really cool as well. Thank you, Nick and Dirt Surfers, for bringing that point out. That there are levels to what's happening, and again, sometimes as we spout and talk, we can't cover all of those things. We don't remember all those details, so it's good to have Nick in there today, and Brooks and Jeff in there today. Jeff says we got to get more people on the board. That's why I don't support the whole firm Future Motion movement. Is it
FFM?
Yeah, Future, right? No?
I don't know what the first F
What's
would
FF?
stand for.
Future. I don't know what FF movement stands for. We got to get more out there. But again, it's gonna be awesome. Thanks for everybody inputting your chat today in the chat. For those that are listening later on in the day, maybe some of you that are listening right now, you'll jump over there and you can leave your comments in the comment section as well. Dirt Surfer is also coming in with that pro card. Helps pay for races and with travel. I think that's what he's saying there, which is great. Again, I think that all of that does is sheds a positive light on Onewheel, that it's not about leveraging just humans for their benefit without giving payback's not the right word, but I don't know what to say there, Lil, but it does seem to be going that way. It's the future.
That's so funny.
Are you laughing at the F?
At me not knowing what the first F was. They're the future motion haters.
Yeah, he's saying.
It's so funny.
Yeah, there's
Leave it to me.
Jeff's chuckling. She's got a little crown on her head.
No, it was a halo.
A halo.
Naive.
I
didn't even know that existed. Well, of course it exists. Duh. If you're gonna have something, you're gonna have haters.
Yeah, there's plenty of those for Scott Mendenhall and friends. We're
leaving everyone with a good laugh.
Yeah.
Jeff is so kind too, because he just without saying face palm or LOL. He just said it's the future motion haters. That's all.
Yeah, it was like the other day. I was talking to a friend and I missed their birthday, and then I caught on a day later. I missed their birthday, and they just texted me hashtag WF.
WTF?
Yeah, WTF.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what they said it was?
Who? What are you talking about?
No. It was worst friend ever.
Oh.
That's what it was.
WFE?
Maybe, and I catch it. I was like,
I wouldn't have caught that. That's not a normal abbreviation people use.
But my point is people abbreviate everything, and it only the great slick ones catch on. But I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm gonna always be the last person to catch on.
I was like, maybe I should have known this. So in my not lack of knowing, I was like, I'm not gonna ask him what it means.
Just say have a great belated birthday.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, Jeff's going. You can always change it to Friends of Future Motion. That's us.
We like it. That's us. Thank you, Future Motion, for creating a Onewheel for us all to ride.
Yeah. Now, Mother Nature needs to get our act together here in Minnesota so we can ride our trails. Ever since we updated our trails around here, and we updated them massively, it's been wet. Legend, my oldest son, thought he would go ride today in the trails, so he mobbed down in the trails. And the minute he hit a berm, his one wheel sunk in and he fell. Muddy mess. His one wheel's caked in mud. It was hilarious. But Mother Nature needs to get her act together because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everybody's giving it to you now, Lil. They're having a good laugh at you. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us over the last few minutes. Always fun to talk about the sport and what's going on. I love when we have just easy topics. Stoked for the Fab Five, racing for Onewheel this season. For the factory team and helping produce good content. Not racing.
Oh, you said racing team?
Yeah, I said racing team. I'm giving a laugh at, I hope they race. I want it.
We know you want it.
I think they can't, it needs to be either in our face that, no, we're going to race this year as a Onewheel team.
I don't think they have to announce that yet, though.
No, but I don't want it to be, I want to either know 100% we're not racing for the team, kind of deal. I want it to be all in. I want Jeff. I know Jeff, you're working on a team right now. You're working on a team. You're working on putting together a team going into 2024. You know you are. Nick, are you?
Oh my goodness.
You're
being an instigator.
I'm trying to have a little bit of fun, put a smile on these guys' faces. Oh man, it'd be a lot of fun. Think about your bracket. You'd have a bracket of individuals and teams.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Add that part to it.
Wait, let me check my phone. Are we getting phone calls to ride on anybody's team? Oh, I just got a text message. Would you be our film editor?
That's cool.
I didn't, Lily. I was just joking. I was trying to say no one's going to invite me to be a racer on their team. Are you kidding?
You can be the water boy.
Water boy. I will. No, I'll be your tire inflator.
Oh, that's
deflator.
Good. That's
whatever
good.
you need the pressure, the PSI, I'll.
Yeah, perfect pressure from yours truly.
Yeah. Hashtag. P.
It could be your
P.
PP. It can be your
Perfect pressure. PPB. That's what it would be. Hashtag PPB. Perfect pressure, baby.
Like it.
Hashtag. Let's make it a thing. Okay, Lil, any other thoughts or concerns on it?
No, thank you all for watching today. We'll be back next week.
Ooh, who's going to sponsor the first Grom, they ask? I mean, that would be... I want to own that division. I'm banking in the future to come.
So you want Scott Mendenhall and Friends to sponsor the Groms.
That's where we're starting. We're trying to... Do we debate? Do we release this information? No, it's no information. We're just trying to bring them up into the sport where they're going to be solid racers and can be contenders. And maybe one day, I think it gives aspirations, I think, for any of the one-wheelers going, hey, wait, there is a future in this. I could potentially be hired to be part of the factory team that would be able to develop new products and stuff. I think it gives, I know Legends thought that already. Like, oh, it'd be cool if I race in a caliber way, or I could be on the factory team one day. Who knows if it's around still?
Something to dream toward.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
It'd be really cool. And then I think it'd be tremendous. I mean, I don't know who would do it, but oh man, it'd be cool if somebody put together a vest team and went head to head.
Yeah, it would.
As a fan, now I'm going to be loyal and pick the old one wheel. But somebody's competition. What do they say? Competition breeds what? You don't know? Mm-mm. Like, what? Come on, you're supposed to help me out there. Competition only helps
breeds more competition?
No.
I don't know.
It makes things better, that's for sure. Wouldn't that be sweet? 20 years from now, they make a documentary about the year that a team took on, nonetheless. Only if I had it. Anyways. Okay. We love all of you. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Thank you for Dirt Surfers being involved today through the chat. Brooks with Midwheel One Wheel on there as well. Thank you for all your comments. It's been a lot of fun to read them and be a part of the conversation. And hopefully, if One Wheel's listening, we created something for them to learn some things from or pull out an idea or whatnot. It would be really cool to see it all come to life as we're watching them already implement some of the things that you have suggested over the years. Got to give them credit where credit's due. They're listening. It's just you can't turn a big ship really fast. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. So give them time. They're going to continue to innovate. They're going to continue to hear the community and make the changes necessary to continue to make us all raving fans. And so see everybody later. For those that join us on Sundays, thanks so much. We'll see you on Sunday. Have a great week, and maybe next week, just maybe, we'll be in the new studio. Whew, that'd be great. We won't be cold, no chilliness. It'd be awesome.
It really would.
Get out there, ride your one wheel today, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.